you seen Daddy? No.
What? All right. You guys hear me? Testing, testing, testing. All right, good. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late tonight. Woo! Who else is coming off of the Thanksgiving break? I mean, wow. I've been wearing a Santa hat and decorating my tree. So that's what's going on with my hair. Hey, what is up, everybody? Take a big old deep breath. Let's get that yoga breath in. Big breath inhale. Let it go. Woo. What is going on, guys? It is the Real Estate Talk with your host and real estate agent community association manager, Sarah Nunley. My brokerage is with Property Management Partners and Associates. We're based in Jacksonville. I live in Yulee, and so we cover Nassau, Duval, Clay, St. John's, and everything in between. So thank you so much for joining. Did you guys have a nice Thanksgiving? It's Sunday night, November 30th, when I am recording this. Grab your drinks, grab your snacks. I got 2 drinks. I got water and a little, I'm missing the umbrella, but you get the point, right? Here we go. Cheers. And of course my water, because I'm over 40. So now I need a full glass of water to chase away any. My hair is so messed up today, guys. I'll tell you what, I need to go visit my girl at the Creative Hair Solutions there in Yulee. That's my jam. Go check them out. They're wonderful. Okay, guys. So we're coming off the Thanksgiving break. Tomorrow's Monday. Monday morning. A lot of people had the whole week off, plus the weekend. That was 9 whole days. I am blessed and honored to be able to say I got to relax a whole lot of that time. And I really hope you guys got to relax too. I had a couple showings, but I mainly was able to relax. So much gratitude. Hope you guys were able to relax too. 25 days until Christmas. I know some of y'all ain't trying to hear that, but that's the real. I'm going to give you the real. Real estate or not. I did not set those lights to blinking. So if they start strobe vibing and giving someone problems, sorry about that. I usually have them on the consistent. We've been messing with lights all day. We just got back from buying the tree, the real tree. This is the second year. Who here loves a real tree? You do real, artificial. They're both good. I've had both of them, but this was the second year that I have the real tree, and the smell alone is just amazing. So we just spent the last 3 hours. Shout out to Hagen Ace Hardware and Callahan, my girl Robin over there in the garden section, helping a girl out, trying to figure out what is a good tree. So shout out to them. You know I love my local folks. So they're amazing, and they have tons of trees. So if you're in Yulee, go take a little ride out to Callahan. Nice little easy ride out there on 200. So nice. Only took me 13 minutes. So 25 days till Christmas, guys. Moms, go ahead, get them Amazon and Target carts ready. I got some shopping done on Black Friday. I hope you did too. I got my agenda here. Welcome everybody. Here we are. I hope the microphone's working. I say that every time, and then I go watch my sports playback here, and it's always working. So grab your snack, grab your drink. February. So this episode right here is going to be real special. And even if you missed the live, that's totally cool. First Time Home Buyers Club right now, Sunday night, right here, YouTube. First Time Home Buyers. I know you're overwhelmed. I know you got a lot of questions. I've been wearing my Santa hat. Listen, and I'm here to help you. That's the whole reason I'm doing this, because I was an overwhelmed first-time home buyer too. So I do a lot of first-time home buyer workshops and stuff. This episode is really going to be catered to the first-time home buyer. And also in February, stay tuned. In February, we're going to have a first-time home buyer workshop with my friends at Brightway here in Yulee Wildlight. So stay tuned for that. So if you're a first-time home buyer, come on by to that workshop. So this episode number 4, guys. Thanks for hanging with me. Look at that. We're on the 4th one. So what's this one going to be? It's going to be top 5 mistakes that first-time home buyers make and how to avoid them. And that's why your friend and reliable realtor Sarah is here to help you navigate the rough waters of buying your first home. Of course, I'll tell you the funny story of me buying my first home. Hidden costs of home ownership, guys. It's not just your mortgage and HOA fee. There may be some other stuff that may pop around the corner, some monthly stuff that you didn't even think of, right? So also leading into that, is it worth buying a fixer upper, right? Sam, and that was me. That was me, totally. The year 2009, buying a fixer upper. HGTV was, the hottest thing on TV. We all wanted to renovate a bathroom in 35 minutes, totally remodel, right? We all thought we could do it. Raise your hand if you thought you could do it. Okay, we totally did. We all did, right? So is it worth buying that fixer up? Or I'm going to give you the real on that. So that is this episode. Again, every Sunday night, 7 p.m. right here. Thank you so much. We skip the fluff, guys. We talk about the real stuff, facts, stats, no fear. Here we go. Okay. Oh, and next week, let me go ahead and tell you about next week. Should you wait until spring to buy or sell? Tomorrow is going to be December, right? I know a lot of spring birdies, start thinking about the buying, the selling. 'Tis the season in real estate. So should you wait until spring to buy or sell, right? What sellers need to know before listing their home. So if you do want to sell your home with me in the spring, what do you need to know, right? What's going on? How do you prep for that? And then how to get your offer accepted in a very competitive market, which is kind of what we're in right now. So that is next week, guys. Tune in Sunday, 7 o'clock. And also, let me know, right, guys, this is a new channel. I've been doing real estate community management for 15 years, but I am new to the YouTube. People laugh at when I sound like an old lady and I say that, but I'm new to the YouTube. This is a new channel, guys. So please like, subscribe, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. But if this time is not working, let me know. I was actually thinking about Sunday morning at around 7 a.m., grabbing our coffees and having a little chat. I know a lot of people are, doom scrolling in bed before they get up. So I was actually contemplating that too. So let me know in the chat works for you. Okay, here we go, guys. You guys ready? Episode 4. Here we go. Top 5 first-time buyers, top 5 mistakes the first-time buyers make, and how to avoid them. Or who's a first-time home buyer, guys? There's a lot going on. Everybody go ahead, take a sip. What you got? You got water, got your margarita, got your coffee. I've only got 2 hands, right? Go ahead, take a sip, get what you get. All right, that's the water. All right, guys. So the year was 2009, right? And I was in my early 20s, really wanted to buy a house. And if you watch my first episode 1, you may have heard the story, but long story short, I wanted to buy a home. I told my coworker, they gave me their realtor's number, and I met with this lady who basically said I was could never buy a home, and blah, blah, blah. And so I did some digging. I did some pre-approval stuff. I worked at a bank, so I was able to have my some help and support there. I was able to buy a home. And the reason why I want to talk about the fixer uppers in this too, because I know a lot of first-time home buyers, myself included, look at those fixer uppers, right? Sometimes they are dramatically lower in price, right? But can you afford the repair loan, right? Sometimes it's a rehab loan, right? I'm educated in all these loans, so I can help you navigate which ones might be for you. And of course, I'll give you the real at the end on is it worth it. But anyways, long story short, so 2009, the market was absolutely crazy. And so this was my first home. I was obviously ready for this first home. And there was like a bidding war going on with this home. It was insane. And it was this little 1950s brick Arlington home, my favorite home. It was so beautiful. And there was a lot that I didn't know. And there was a lot of unexpected costs that came up before I even owned the home, before I even had those keys, right? And if you watched my last episode 3, it was what the buyer pays for and what the seller pays for. Typically, right? What did I say? Everything can be negotiated, but not everything's negotiable. So watch episode 3 if you want to know what the buyer pays, what the seller traditionally pays, and all of that. There's some real good information here. And you guys, even if you miss these lives, this information is still really good. I don't know about you. I listen to YouTube. I'm YouTube fanatic, and I listen to it in the car, folding laundry, doing dishes. I'm always listening to something. So I hope somebody somewhere gets something out of this at some point in time, right? So here we go. Who's ready? Who's ready to take that sip? Top 5 mistakes the home buyers make and how to avoid them. So skipping the pre-approval and getting ready. So listen, if you want Santa to climb down your chimney and you don't have a chimney, well, tomorrow's December 1st. It's going to be too late for this year. That's the real. But give me a call, and next December we can work on getting you that chimney and that dream house that you want for the holidays, for the summer. You want a pool in the backyard. Now is the time to go ahead and get it together. As the kids say, if they still say that, I don't know. I'm an old millennial. I don't know what's going on in the lingo. It's the 6-7 thing. I have no idea what's going on, guys. I'm old. Help me out in the chat. I have no idea what's going on with that. But anyway, if you're getting ready to buy a house in 2026, the first thing I would do is fix your hair. And then the first thing I would do is go ahead and get it together. Make sure all your bills are paid on time, right? Maybe even pay a month and ahead. Check that if you, on all your credit cards, what the ratio is of how much you owe and how much is left on that card. That, in my personal experience, has been the big variable to move the needle with a credit score. I'm no financial expert by all means, so make sure you get with your own financial expert for advice. But just looking at my own credit score, getting a card, using it, paying it off, and I check my credit score like weekly. I'm like OCD with that thing. So just seeing it fluctuate. When I open that cruise credit card, I check the points there, and then when I come back from my cruise, and then about 30 days later, I'll check it again, right? If I hadn't paid it off, and I tell you what, that it fluctuates, that credit score, right? And then hopefully not in that short amount of time, but not the score, but like the percentage rate. If you were to go apply for a new loan or credit card, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so skipping that pre-approval. So go ahead. So many people want to jump on Zillow. They want to, shop for the homes before knowing the buying power. They fall in love with this house. This little, I just had someone do this. Fall in this house with this little brick home in Riverside. It's a 2-side duplex thing in Riverside, going for $500,000. And this young man and his wife were all excited. Oh, we're going to rent it out and we're going to make some money. And they were all gung ho, but they didn't get the real, right? They didn't get with their bank. And remember, in last episode, I said, start with the bank, preferably that you have a relationship with, right? That'll better increase your chances. So for example, you've got your direct deposit at Bank of America, Community First, Chase, ViStar, whatever. Walk into there first and see if you can get that mortgage. But after you go ahead and you get your pre-approval, right? And remember, that's a soft pull, not a hard pull on the credit typically. So it's not going to lower that credit score like we just talked about, right? All right, who's got any questions? Any questions in the chat there about that pre-approval? And if you have questions later, let me know, okay? We'll answer them on the next one, Sunday night. Only looking at the sticker price. Oh, this is a very common one with my new first-time homebuyers, right? They forget about those taxes, fees, insurance. You got HOA fees, condo fees. Y'all know I'm a community association manager, 15 years here. If it's a HOA or COA, there's going to be some fees. And sometimes what you see on the Zillow and Realtor.com is not really what it is, right? So that's why you need to work with a good realtor who can get that information to you and get that information quickly so that you, the buyer, can make a good informed decision on whether you want to make an offer on that home or not, right? So create a realistic monthly budget, right? Don't just look at the house and say, hey, little pie chart down here, and you scroll down until the pie chart says I'm good. Well, you may be, but you want to factor in those other stuff. So get real, get your Excel. I'm old school. I get an Excel spreadsheet out and I start crunching numbers. That little auto sum of number up there, that's going to be your friend. All right. Third mistake. Who's still with me? Y'all good? All right. Who's good? 20 minutes. Sorry. I'm rambling tonight. It's the tail end of the 9 day turkey turkey fiesta. Tell you what, not checking the neighborhood, right? So when I bought my first house, I'll tell you what, I regret not driving through the neighborhood. You should, if you see a home that you like, or homes that in the community in which you know you like. For example, I'm a wildlife Yulee wildlife specialist, right? So if there's a home, a neighborhood in Yulee, I mean, I hate to be biased, they're all fabulous here. You don't really need to worry about. But no matter where you're going to buy, check it out on a Friday night, a Sunday morning. You like to sleep in, might want to check it out on a Sunday morning. Friday night, is it like Party Central? If that's what you want, great. If you got little kids, maybe not, right? So get every community, I say in property management, every community has its own vibe, its own style, right? So check out the vibe and style before you sign on the dotted line, because you want to be excited when you get the key to your first home. That is honestly the first time, that is one of the most exciting moments of your life. I mean, it's up there for me with getting married, having babies, getting the key to that little brick Arlington home. Well, we closed on Halloween. I'll never forget it. We were passing out candy on a house where there was no furniture in there. The porch lights were on, and that was it. I mean, so um but anyway, check out that neighborhood, the schools, guys, the commute, the schools. If you have little kids, just putting this out there, Wildlight, A+ school, fantastic. If you've got kids, Wildlight is absolutely the place to be. We've got those schools and those walking trails. Almost said chairs, trails. Got plenty of chairs on the trails, actually. If you're from here, you know that we do. They're pretty bright color painted chairs on the trail. So the schools are great, the community, noise, safety, future development, right? So I've seen this a lot in my 15 years of this industry. Someone will, there's actually a beautiful community right now. This happened in St. Johns County, and they were just living large, hanging out. Was it 12 years in? They built a middle school, and now these folks' backyard, wooden 6-foot fence, backs up to a basketball court of a school. I can't remember if it's elementary or middle school, and they've got to hear kids playing basketball now all the time. So make sure, if you have empty, and again, your realtor can help you with this. If you have empty parcels on the side of this home or this lot of land, right? I work with Yulee, Callahan, Hilliard folks. A lot of times there's a lot of land, right? Not many, by the way, not many piles of dirt and sticks left, guys. If you guys looking for some lot of land, hit me up. I know where the last few are, right? But in any event, so, ow, something bit my toe. But anyway, say that the next parcel behind that, is undetermined. If it's not bought by maybe the county, it could turn into a school. Hell, it could turn into a Walmart, a Costco, right? So make sure you not just look at your home, but the surrounding areas. I didn't know what a JEA easement ditch was until I had one behind my first home. And I don't think they do this anymore, but one day they have prisoners in the orange jumpsuits actually cleaning the ditch and stuff. And one day I was doing my dishes and I looked up, I saw a bunch of people in my backyard. I don't know if they do that anymore, but this was about 15 years ago. And they most definitely did. But there was JEA easement ditch, and anybody can just come on your lot, your backyard, right, and clear out that ditch. And I'm grateful for their work. They had mowers, and thanks to their work, the water and drainage flow worked so much better. And if you live anywhere near the Terry Parker School, you know that area floods a lot. So I'm grateful for what they were doing. But I didn't know that was going to happen, right? I looked up and there's a whole bunch of dudes in my backyard, right, clearing this ditch. So things like that. Know what's behind in front and all around. Speaking of which, real quick, if you look on this channel, there's a home in the Timber Creek Plantation. It's on Deerwood Drive, and it is facing the pond. Like, you come out the front door and boom, the pond is right there. It is absolutely gorgeous. See, stuff like that. That's what you want to look for when you're buying a home. If you want to see that home, let me know. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it is on my channel in the shorts. But or any home, absolutely, let me know. But I love that. I mean, can you imagine that? Just walking out your front door and seeing that pond every day, right? Hell, even talk to neighbors, right? Visit the home different times of the day. Talk to neighbors, research crime data, future city planning. If you are not from the area, no matter where you are, look at the crime data statistics, right? Okay, who's still with me? Y'all good? Got your questions in the chat? Grab your drink. I need a water. I'll save the peach margarita for after the show. I want to give you a level of professionalism here. Cheers to the water, but we've got the peach margarita for the end. I've been doing it. I been decorating my tree, guys. Who's ready? Who's ready, man? Once I put the turkey away, I'm ready for the Christmas tree. I'm one of those people. All right. Waiving the home inspection to try to save money. Ooh, oh, let me give you the real, folks. I never, ever want you to skip buying a home inspection, even if you're paying cash for that thing. You never know. You never know what's going on. I'm all about the home inspection, guys. You never know what's going on. Remember, there's roof, HVAC, plumbing, electrical. Do you have a pool? You have a hot tub? Solar panels? Does it have an elevator? Just had a situation with an elevator breaking down. Listen, there's a lot going on. Okay. And lastly, not working with the right agent, right? Oh, who cares if your sister-in-law, you know, she may be a great realtor, right? But does she know that area, right? You really want someone that knows that area. And if you are looking to come to Yulee or Jacksonville, St. Johns County, hit us up. We know these areas like the back of our hand. That is a mistake I see a lot of times. They work with someone just because they're family or someone they know, and they don't really know the market, the negotiation, the guidance, guys. They just rely on the hookup and friends and a lot of these. I'm gonna brag and just sound like kind of a jerk right now, but a lot of people get into this industry because they know a lot of people, and they sell to all their friends and family. And that wasn't the case with me at all. I'm proud to say I'm 100% grassroots. My parents are not alive. I don't have any other family, and so I had business with a couple friends. But my first few, talking about boots on the ground, door knocking, cold calling, all that mess. Your girl Sarah out there is doing it. Tell you what, if I sell your house, you list your house with me, and we do an open house, which I absolutely love. By the way, a lot of realtors hate open houses, but I love them. Listen, I bring the cookies. I talk to everybody. It's a great day for me. I enjoy an open house on a pretty shiny Saturday, right? Showing homes is what I do. But yeah, you want to choose an agent that advocates for you, that does that open house, that goes that live. Speaking of which, go ahead, subscribe so I can go live on my phone, guys. I want to do some open houses on my phone. So choose an agent who can negotiate, communicate, educate, and advocates for you. And most importantly, knows the market and knows what's going on. And I'm proud to say, in my 15 years community association management and real estate, I most definitely know how to do some negotiation and advocating for my customers. So if you're looking for that, hit me up for your 20-minute free Zoom call. Send me an email. I got you covered. We're almost at the 30-minute mark. How y'all doing? You're doing good? All right. Now we're coming up here. Hidden costs of home ownership and how to budget for them. We're going to talk about some property taxes, insurance, maintenance, utilities, those HOA and those condo fees. Market's hot, guys. Listen, December You're always going to hear you're always going to hear the kids screaming back there. Sorry about that Sunday night. Listen. But I know right now things seem a little, everyone's kind of treading the water, right? December, it's busy, holidays. Usually the buying and the selling does kind of lull for a second unless you're already kind of in the mix. But I'll tell you what, January and springtime, it's going to be kicking off. And so, if you want to sell, I would say go ahead and get ahead of the game. But for my first time home buyers, guys, this is your show tonight. We're going to talk about those hidden costs of home ownership. So what are they and how do you budget for them, right? So you probably know this one, obviously. Property taxes, right? That's what the good old county is going to charge you forever until death do you part. No, I'm just kidding. But even if you even if you pay off that mortgage, like I paid off a mortgage and I still got the property tax bill. I was like, what the hell is this? Oh yeah, I own this for, you don't really own it, right? You still gotta pay the tax on that lot of land, which is um I'll keep my opinions to myself. But in anyway, that's what a property tax is. So you're always going to pay that. You're going to pay that every year. If you're paying a mortgage payment to your bank, you have a loan, 99% of the time, the property tax and insurance is going to be escrowed in. And what does that mean, my first time home buyers? Oh my God, what is escrow? Escrow is basically like one big checking account, basically that's going to pay for those items. So your mortgage, which is your principal and interest, right? Your property taxes and your property insurance, right? And remember, stay tuned because our friends at Brightway, we're getting ready to do the first time home buyer workshop seminar at their office in Wildlight. So if you're a first time home buyer and you're thinking about buying in 2026, we're doing that workshop in February. And these are the kind of stuff that we're going into. That actually leads me to the next segment, homeowners insurance. A lot of people don't realize it usually goes up. Guys, my property management world, when we do the budgets for these properties, we usually automatically do about a 3% increase on the property insurance every year just to try to be proactive, not reactive, right? Because we know it's going to go up, honestly, between 1 and 3 every year. So those are things that you've got to look for. The higher premiums means that higher monthly payment. Go ahead, get your quotes early, right? And I can't wait to have that first time home buyer workshop because there's so many great questions, guys. And we'll have our licensed friends over there, Wildlight, answer those questions. Okay, routine maintenance and repairs, guys. A home and a car, there's always something going on, right? Things do break. Every small issue does add up. So what my friends over here at realtor.com, 1% rule, set aside 1% of your home's value per year for maintenance. So that's actually really, really good because, you're going to have to paint your roof. You got to remarcite a pool if you got a pool. That's the one that threw me for a loop as a first time home buyer. I bought my fixer upper, my 1950s brick Arlington home fixer upper for a phenomenal price. And woo, let me tell you what, the repairs on that thing. I had my home inspection, but I didn't pay for the guy to put the wetsuit on and go in the pool. And I regret that. I regret that a lot. And that pool that man put in by himself, by the way, ended up having tons of problems. So again, with that home inspection and as a first time home buyer, that's why I'm doing this show. I hope I can help somebody, make somebody more aware, maybe ask some more questions, get a good realtor, even if it's not with me, right? You should have an agent that you trust, love, and respect, and one that's going to give you the real, right? When you're out there looking for a home, Okay, so utilities and services, right? One that threw me for a loop moving out here to Nassau County, trash pickup. Duval County, you don't pay anything for trash pickup. That's part of your property taxes that you pay right out of your escrow. But in Nassau County, where I'm now, live now, I was surprised. I moved into a home and here we are now. I get a bill for the trash, and that was not like that. So that was something that's an extra expense. It's like 300 or 400 a year that wasn't accounted for, right? And that's got to come from somewhere. So your utility bills are always going to be larger in a house versus an apartment, right? So keep that in mind. If you're coming from a 1 bedroom apartment or a duplex and you're going to buy a 2, 3 bedroom house, just know your JEA is going to go up a little. Be realistic, real, right? Go back to that Excel sheet and start adding what you pay now and then bump up a little percentage, and it'll kind of help you. Electricity, water, sewage, trash, gas, internet, it adds up a lot. Okay, so okay, y'all still good? Here we go, 35 minutes in. We're doing great. HOA fees, COA fees, right? As a property manager, you're gonna have it's either gonna be monthly, quarterly, annually. It's usually one of those, right? One of those is like biannually, but so and sometimes, like if it's in a condo, there may be a special assessment. Say that thing was maybe they just had a major repair, electrical, plumbing, a roof, and maybe they didn't have the money in their reserves and they have to do what's called a special assessment. So if there's a community or a complex that you really like, those are the things that you need to find out. I'd find that out before you even go down that road, right? So this is all the pre stuff. Appliance and systems replacements, right? So when you first move into that home, A, are those appliances included? And B, how old are they, right? And that one's pretty much self-explanatory. Closing costs before you move in. This is the very last one right here. We're actually going to do a whole show on. Actually, we already did. It was the last one, I believe. Yeah, it was episode 3. Closing costs. What to expect when you're expecting to close. You like my cheesy titles? And buy a home when you have to sell, and AI and real estate. That was episode 3. That was a really good one too. So closing costs and your down payment are two totally different things, right? Two totally different things. So we're talking about the closing costs. Usually 2 to 5% purchase price, large upfront expense. And so go ahead. If you already know kind of what neighborhood, what kind of neighborhood, what kind of home you want, go ahead and start thinking about that, right? The 2 to 5% for the closing costs, and then your down payment. First time home buyers, listen up. There are so many programs for you. Do not buy a house without giving me a call. I've also got an MLO, mortgage loan officer, on my team that can help you and get you in your dream home in 2026, right? Move out of the apartment, move out of mama's house, whatever it is. Nothing beats having your own space, your own castle, your own little slice of pie. And like we talked about last episode, there are pros and cons. We sat here for 30 minutes last episode and went over every pro and every con to renting and buying. And there is a lot. And like I said, it depends on where you are in your life, right? But honestly, guys, I'm not even going to lie. Home ownership is the bee's knees, right? It really is the absolute bee's knees. I know I'm an old lady. All right, so how to budget smart like a homeowner, right? So know that full monthly payment. That's going to be, typical. I'm talking about rough numbers here before you even start looking, because you want to show your realtor, obviously you want to have that pre-qualification letter. We all know it's on the table how much home we're looking at. Let's get real, because I don't want your little heart to break either, right? If you want a $500,000 home, but 330 is more of a realistic budget, right? But you're looking at a 550. That's why that pre-approval, pre-qual letter is so important. It lays it out on the table for you, for your realtor. We all know what we're looking at. And we don't waste anybody's time. Time is precious. Time is valuable. And if you're a seller, time is money. Hey, how about that? So, all right, so how to budget like a smart homeowner. So know your full monthly payment, what you can afford. What can you afford, including the random, repair that may happen, right? Build yourself a homeowner emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of your monthly payment. Um, Yes, yeah, I definitely recommend at least 3 to 4 months of the housing costs. It says 3 to 6. I know that's hard. You should always have the financial people say you should have 6 months of all your bills, in a savings account. But definitely three, absolutely. Plan for monthly, plan for maintenance proactively instead of reacting to emergencies. As a first time home buyer, there's a lot going on. I actually have an amazing guide. Hit me up, and it is what to check for when you first move into a home, and what should I be doing. It's not just doing the air filter monthly on the air conditioner unit. There's quarterly maintenance on that thing. There's all kinds of stuff going on, right? So that's your maintenance proactively. That's just one example. Get multiple quotes, guys, for all your service providers. Hey, guys, I'll be right there, okay? I locked the door this time. Remember, if you watch my episodes, you see the little ones come in and start screaming. So today I was like, I need to get serious. I know it's Sunday night, but I want to be real. I want to be, 100% attention on you, the customer, and someone who is going to take this information to heart because they need this information. So get multiple quotes. That's where we left off. So y'all know my 15 years property management, guys. I get 3 quotes for everything. You should absolutely get your quotes, have them in your back pocket. You are doing the right thing. Don't spend every dollar to stretch your buying power. Leave your wiggle room. Right? We talked about wiggle room. When I went to go first buy my first house, I remember that bank told me this was in 2008, and they told me I was approved for some crazy number. I was in my early 20s, and it was like 300 something thousand. But I didn't want. There's no way. Like I was going to be comfortable with that. So I bought $110,000 house, and it was phenomenal. And my monthly payment was fantastic. And that's why I cried when I sold that house, because I missed that. I missed that mortgage rate and that monthly payment. But I love it's bittersweet, guys. As you know, in my first episode, if you heard my story, it was bittersweet, guys. Selling a house, it really is a beautiful thing. Help me sell your house for you. It really is. It's nice to be able to cash out and move on to that next level of your life. For us, my husband grew up in Yulee. There's A+ schools here in Yulee. He wanted to come back here. I wanted to come up here for the schools, the walking trails, the new construction builds. We're going to talk more about that in a future episode, guys. Lots of new construction. You want a new home? There's lots going on up here. But, and I had been in Arlington for 15, 14 years, that house for 14 years. And I've been in Arlington that whole time. And that was hard. That was home. That was home for me. Shout out, where's my Terry Parker fam? All right. Guys, we're on to the next part. Home stretch here. How y'all doing? Any questions in the chat? Let me know. Let me know where you're coming from. Please subscribe. Thank you so much for jumping on. Y'all like my fake fireplace? I know you do. Hey, is it worth buying? My kid is screaming bloody murder. I don't know what's going on. I'm sure she's okay. Don't worry. Daddy's out there. Don't worry. Is it worth buying a fixer upper, and how to know if it's the right move for you? So I'm not going to say my first home was a complete fixer upper, but it did have tons of cosmetic things that I had to change right away because I wasn't a grandma, and it was definitely a grandma style house, and I was in my early 20s. So the flowery wallpaper had to go, but that's okay. But other than that, in the pool. But let me tell y'all a little story we like to call around here in the Nunley household the Brower Road. So sit back, get your drink, and I'm going to tell you about it here. We were looking at homes first time. We were first time home buyers, right? We wanted to play HGTV. There was a home on Broward Road, right on the water, 2 stories. It was the most beautiful, like picturesque type thing. I still look at this home today and like watch it from afar. Not like I mean like on the computer, because it's kind of far from me. But we almost bought this house, and we didn't because it was 2-story, and and we about about fell through the house on the showing. The thing was dilapidated. It would have had to have been, I kind of knows it, sorry. It would have had to have been like a um, total rehab project, right? I mean, this thing was on the water. It had one of those beautiful little doors. Oh, my nose is itching. I'm so sorry. It had one of those beautiful doors coming out the master bathroom where it came out like a balcony, like they have those beautiful things in France, with the little balcony and the little archway thing. And but nobody could stand on that wooden thing. You would fall straight through. So anyway, Broward Road, we laugh and joke around because we almost bought that home, and it would have been a total rehab and fixer upper. We decided not to buy that home and to buy the little brick Arlington home that I'm always talking about, where it had some fixing up in qualities, but it was able to be moved in immediately. Versus Broward Road, there's no way in hell you could have moved into that thing immediately, right? So that's what I mean when I'm talking about a fixer upper. I'm talking about there might be asbestos. You got to get that thing checked out. Home inspection, you got to get everything checked out, right? I'm not talking about a home where, turnkey moving in. Oh, the paint, isn't what I like. That's not what I'm talking about here. So buying a fixer upper can be a very smart way for first time home buyers to get into your competitive market, right? You see that price, you're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But there may be some things circulating around the corner, right? So repairs, you can have either repairs, an update, or a full renovation. We're talking about new flooring, paint, minor system replacement, even layout changes. Which some people, neither here nor there. Some people like to buy an old, nice, charming home and knock down the walls and make it the new style open floor plan, right? But whatever works for you, you're the one paying the mortgage, you're the one buying it, living in it, hosting Thanksgiving and Christmas in it, right? It should be what you want, right? And people do that because they want that neighborhood, they want that older home that they don't, some people say, oh, they don't make them like they used to. It depends. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on builders, location, the erosion, all different kinds of things, right? So just keep that in mind. But right now we're talking about the fixer upper. So here I like my pros and cons, right? Okay, so we've got some pros, right? We already said it's going to be a lower price. We already know that. Fixer upper, that's what makes you go, ooh, right? A lot of these foreclosure properties, all of them pretty much are going to be foreclosure. You build almost instant equity, y'all, because it's whether it's a dump or not, you go in there and you start painting and customizing and then doing some stuff, and you've automatically, that value has just skyrocketed. So I love buying the fixer upper, and that's kind of what I did. I moved into this $100,000 home that was, kind of wild, and had some mold remediation done and all that, changed all paint, floor, everything. And it doubled in value, doubled and a half value by the time I had sold it 14 years later. So don't tell me that a home is not the best savings account long term that you can have. That a home piece of equity that you can sell, it really, that is an amazing source of income for you whenever you choose to sell. And if you pick me to sell your home, I'm very interactive. I get on, I'll do, all different kinds of things on the channel, social media, presentations. We do all kinds of stuff. All right. So less competition, of course. You're a fixer upper. You're not going to get in a bidding war with anybody but some cash buyers. And as a realtor, I'll give you the real, when you get these homes, sometimes these cash buyers, they really do. They want to give you the lowest number possible. Obviously, they're going to turn around and rent it for the highest number possible. So, make sure you got a good realtor on there. All right. So the cons is the pros. You know me, I love my pros and cons list. I remember back in middle school, if I had from all the way back, middle school, high school, and even now my 40s, anytime I have a decision to make, I do. I get a legal pad and I write a pros and a cons list. So I do the same for you here, no matter what we're talking about, right? So the cons, renovations might be a little bit more than what you expect. Do you guys remember? Who remembers? And I told myself I'd never talk about the dreaded COVID pandemic on this channel, but here we go. Y'all remember right after that, the prices of lumber like tripled for some reason if you were doing a fence or I mean, it was insane. So things like that, sometimes that renovation, materials are always going to go up slightly. Your repairs can cost your move-in delay. So if you're paying rent or another mortgage at your current home where you're laying your head on the pillow at night, you got to pay both for a minute, right? The house you're rehabbing and where you're living. And I did that. I did that for about 5 months. I had to pay a rent and a mortgage, and that's not fun. I literally like all my money in that. So you better get them repairs, chop chop. That's where your good property manager comes in. Hire me to manage that project. We will get that thing done for you. Stress and time commitment. That's also where I come and help you out with that. And finally, lastly, financing can be a little tricky. If you're a first-time home buyer, that was our problem. We were first-time home buyers, and we wanted this total rehab loan and to redo this house on Brower Road. And we had never owned a house before. They were like, whatever. But I did get, like I said, approved for 3 times more for a regular loan to buy a regular house. So everybody take a sip of your drink. I'm going to tell you the real. Oh, that was the peach. It was supposed to be water. Ooh. My bad. The real. Is it worth buying a fixer-upper? Absolutely. Could be the most amazing thing ever. Everybody's different. Everybody's finances are different. The only dreaded part was painting a room with my husband. And if you've been married for a long time and you've ever done a home renovation with your spouse, that's the most stressful part of the whole process. Okay, here we go. So there's lots of different loans you can do for the fixer-uppers, all right? All right, where we at, guys? 52. Hey, let's get to some stats. I'm choking on my peach drink. All right, the real. Let's go ahead and get into some stats. All right. Let's go ahead and do the open house of the week this week. Ooh, my buddies at Coloron Builders, guys. Let me pull this up. Coloron Builders. Make sure you give me a call. And listen, you always want to have, no matter who you're buying, where you're buying from, you always want an agent. People ask me all the time, Sarah, do I really need an agent when I'm buying a brand new home? Like a new build? Absolutely. Your agent is your advocate. Number one. All right, let's go ahead and get to some stats. Let's share that screen. Also share system audio. Yes, that's what we want. Okay, so we're going to jump to some stats, but first of all, open houses of the week. We actually have 2. Let's see. I'm showing you these 2. Both of these are Coloron Builders, okay? They both of these homes I'm showing you have an open house on December 6th from 1 to 3 p.m. So my show right now is recorded on 11:30, right? So my goal is to give you a couple of fun open houses for you to check out. for the week coming up ahead. So this one's in Jacksonville, guys, 32218 on the north side of town, going for 480. Check that out. Beautiful. These are new builds. Caller on builders. Saturday, 12/6, 1 to 3. There's the information there, and there is some pictures for you. And give me a call if you are interested in that home. Also from Colorado Builders, I love this one. I'm a sucker for this house style, and I love a 2-story house. I love a staircase. Also from Colorado Builders, Saturday, the same day, 12/6, 1 to 3. And it's the same neighborhood. It's the same thing, right? It's like on the same street. So if you're looking for a home in the north side of Jacksonville, this is a beauty. These are new builds. So give me a call. Go over there with you, or go over there and visit at Colorado Builders and tell them your girl Sarah Nunley, the Wildlight Realtor, sent them your way. All right, I picked this one just because it is absolutely just gorgeous. This one here is by Amelia Island, Nassau County Association of Realtors, ANCAR, Oyster Bay Harbor. Woo, baby, look at that, 1.149. And I'm showing you this because there is an open house. Where is it? Here it goes. Saturday, December 6th, 11 to 1. And here is who that is listed with, 11 to 6. So go check out that one. You got 1.1 to throw down. That is a beautiful home there, Fernandina area. Okay, so that was our open house of the week. And remember my spiel: if you are selling your home or you have a home for sale and you want me to showcase it on my channel, I would absolutely love to do that. I'm all about helping people. Hit me up. Okay, so let's go ahead here. We're going to get to some stats. Now, this here is NEFAR. This is the entire Northeast Florida Association of Realtors. And if you've been watching my episodes here for a minute, you know that I'm going to break it down by Duval, Nassau, and St. John's on my DOM Analytics. But I just like to show you this right here. This is the NEFAR stats. What you want to look at if you're getting ready to sell your house. 2 things you want to look at: median price per square footy and median DOM, days on the market. All right. Price per square foot and days on the market. And that's what you want to check out. All right. Take a look at that. I'm glad my screen is working this time. Sorry, I was popping on here late. That's why, guys. Right now, there are 19,906 homes for sale. That is all in the Northeast Florida Association. Okay. Now, make sure. So my first-time home buyers, guys, if you guys are renting and you want to start the conversation, please don't feel like you're letting us down if you're not buying. I'm going to tell you, I met my realtor before I became one, and he showed us that house. This is a true, honest to God story. Swear on my mother's grave. I met him. He showed me Broward Road. We decided that wasn't for us, that we couldn't do it. It was a whole 13 months later, and that was getting our credit, everything nice in line, bills pay, but because we were a little discouraged because of that, we wanted to be HGTV flipping people. But I'm going to tell you what, 13 months later, I bought my first house with him, that realtor, and he was amazing and patient and held my hand the whole 13 months. So we're here for you. It's a relationship. It's a professional relationship. It's a commitment. We've had customers in our office we've known 15 plus years. We sold the mom's house, the daughter's house. That's how it should be. Your referral is the biggest compliment that you could ever give anyone who's in a service profession, right? And I mean, think about that. Who does your hair? Who does your nails, right? Wouldn't you recommend them to someone? Anyone who does a profession provides you a good or service that is personal, that comes from the heart. Anyway, I'm sorry. I know I'm off on a tangent, but that's just how I am. Give it to you the real. All right, real quick, guys. We're going to break it down real quick because I know your time is valuable. All right, so we're going to go ahead. These are single family residences. If you're working with me, of course, we can break it down a little bit more. Give me a call for your 20-minute free Zoom call. These are for Duval. This is for October. They don't have November out, obviously, not yet. Oh, I'm excited on our new one of our channels coming up. I'm always excited when it switches over to a new month. I like seeing where we are. Look at that, 39 days on the market. That is hot. Look at that little fire going on up there. So that's for Duval. Let's get that Nassau. What's going on in Nassau County? Check that out. Now remember, Nassau has a lot of new builds. We've got a lot. Nassau and St. Johns County got a lot of new builds, new construction in there. Okay, so that's gonna be factored into that. Okay, so check out your Nassau. And I'm only showing you Nassau, Duval, and St. Johns because those are the three primary counties that I work in. Of course, like I said, you ever want to jump on a Zoom and talk about personal, individualized, we can definitely do that. Hit me up via the email, nunleysarah@outlook.com. Okay, so St. John's, as you see, a little bit higher there. These are the medians there. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Please let me know. While I'm pulling this up here next week, don't forget, should you wait until spring to buy or sell? Should I wait, Sarah? Well, you're going to have to wait till next Sunday night for me to give you the real on that. What do sellers need to know before listing their home? So this episode right here was more for our buyers. Next week is going to be for our sellers. That's Duval County. When it says 57 areas selected, that's just the parts of town of Jacksonville. I had somebody ask me that, so I want to clear that up there. How to get your offer accepted in a competitive market. So we got a little bit of buyer and seller information there. So check that out there for Duval. Again, this is for October. We're going to get Nassau here. Ooh, no, not Flagler. All right, take a look there, Nassau. Any questions? Put them in the chat. We're getting ready to wrap up here in about a minute, 30 seconds. If we don't get to your question, we will be here next week, fam. And your feedback is so important. Please subscribe and tell us what time and day works for y'all. Maybe it's Sunday morning. Maybe outside with the birds chirping. That might be good, huh? Okay, we'll just forget about that one. Okay, back on it. Okay. 1 minute, 3 seconds. Okay, guys, everybody take a sip. You got your snacks. Make sure you finish your snack. It is 8 o'clock Sunday night. Tomorrow is Monday morning. Back after the Thanksgiving holiday. 25 days till Christmas. Don't be a Scrooge. Everybody take a big breath. Inhale, 4-count breath. So you're going to inhale for 4 seconds. You're going to hold it for 4 seconds. And you're going to let it go out the mouth for 4 seconds. And then you're going to do nothing for 4 seconds. And if you don't know, I teach yoga and cycling if you don't know me already. All right, guys, we are closing out episode 4. Thank you so much. With so much love and gratitude. Thank you for trusting me to be your reliable real realtor. Hit me up for a 20-minute free Zoom call. Would love to chat with you, get connected, and do some business together. Let's do some buying, some selling. With much love and gratitude, guys, have a blessed, beautiful day and week. Namaste.